back to the phone lines. Talk to Cheryl in Calgary, Alberta, Canada, listening on CHRB. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi, Hank. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome.
Hank, my question for you, I want to know what you think of doctor-assisted death. I had a friend today that, I'm going to say was euthanized, and he was a Christian man, and we had big disputes on this. And he'd say to me that the only unpardonable sin is blasphemy of the Holy Spirit, and that didn't I know that we were under grace.
Is this what the man said who was euthanized, or the man? Or the
that had doctor-assisted, correct.
Yeah, suicide.
And then he also talked about the siege at Masada. Is that, I don't know if I'm even...
Masada, yes.
Can you... Hank, I still don't feel right. Maybe I don't feel right about it. Can you talk to me about it?
Yeah, I can. And bless you, dear sister. I mean, look, from a biblical perspective, the timing and the terms of death are the providence of God alone. The Bible's absolutely clear about that. And therefore, a doctor is never permitted to usurp the prerogative of God. And from the standpoint of the person that you're mentioning, if you're hastening death based on subjective judgments concerning the quality of your life or something else, what you're doing is you are directly violating the Scriptures. And I think it is a very serious matter. Now, I've pointed out in the past that passive euthanasia is morally permissible in that it allows the process of dying to run its natural course. But active euthanasia, and that's what we're talking about here, directly involves the taking of a human life, and therefore it's murder. And murder is where someone is taking, in this case, taking their own life. They're using means, they're using a doctor, they're using the opportunities afforded to them. But it's a very, very bad thing. My dad, I would use as a classic example of someone struggling in a terrible, terrible way. He had a fibrosing in the lungs that encroached upon his ability to assimilate oxygen. And as a result, he died a suffocating death. And I watched him go through that agony. And as he was going through that, I would often ask him, Dad, wouldn't you love to be with the Lord? And he would always tell me, he said, he would say, yes, I would love to be with the Lord, but every moment the Lord gives me on this earth is precious. In other words, he was looking forward to the struggles, the physical struggles, the suffocation, all of that to be over on the one hand, but he recognized that God's timetable is perfect. And I would say that this is one of the great things that happened for our family. My dad lying on his deathbed, having the opportunity to bless every one of his children, his grandchildren, his great-grandchildren, taking a final breath and going home to be with the Lord. And I've never forgotten that. And so subjective ideas about the quality of life are simply spurious. We don't know what God can do with our lives, even in the most agonizing moments. I guess it was C.S. Lewis who said, God whispers to us in our pleasures. He speaks to us in our conscience, but he shouts to us in our pains. That is his megaphone to rouse a deaf world. We don't want to tamper with that.